instruments. Act 69. Holders' rights to duplicate of lost bill. Where a bill has been lost before it is overdue, the person who was the holder of it may apply to the drawer to give him another bill of the same tenor, giving security to the drawer if required to indemnify him against all persons whatever, in case the bill alleged to have been lost shall be found again. If the drawer, on request as aforesaid, refuses to give such duplicate bill, he may be compelled to do so. Act 70. Action on lost bill. In any action or proceeding upon a bill, the court or judge may order that the loss of the instrument shall not be set up, provided an indemnity be given to the satisfaction of the court or judge against the claims of any other person upon the instrument in question. Bill in a set. Act 71, Rules as to Sets. Section 1, where a bill is drawn in a set, each part of the set being numbered and containing a reference to the other parts, the whole of the parts constitute the bill. Where the holder of a set endorses two or more parts to different persons, he is liable on every such part, and every endorser subsequent to him is liable on the part he has himself endorsed, as if the said parts were separate bills. Section 3, where two or more parts of a set are negotiated to different holders in due course, the holder whose title first accrues is as between such holders deemed the true owner of the bill, but nothing in this subsection shall affect the rights of a person who in due course accepts or pays the part first presented to him. Section 4. The acceptance may be written on any part, and it must be written on one part only. If the drawee accepts more than one part, and such accepted parts get into the hands of different holders in due course, he is liable on every such part as if it were a separate bill. Section 5. When the acceptor of a bill drawn in a set pays it without requiring the part bearing his acceptance to be delivered up to him, and that part at maturity is outstanding in the hands of a holder in due course, he is liable to the holder thereof. Section 6. Subject to the preceding rules, where any one part of a bill drawn in a set is discharged by payment or otherwise, the whole bill is discharged. Act 72, Rules where laws conflict. Where a bill drawn in one country is negotiated, accepted, or payable in another, the rights, duties, and liabilities of the parties thereto are determined as follows. Section 1. The validity of a bill as regards requisites in form is determined by the law of the place of issue, and the validity as regards requisites in form of the supervening contracts, such as acceptance or endorsement or acceptance supra protest, is determined by the law of the place where such contract was made, provided that A, where a bill is issued out of the Abu Dhabi global market, it is not invalid by reason only that it is not stamped in accordance with the law of the place of issue. B, where a bill issued out of the Abu Dhabi global market conforms as regards requisites in form to the law of the Abu Dhabi global market, it may, for the purpose of enforcing payment thereof, be treated as valid as between all persons who negotiate, hold, or become parties to it in the Abu Dhabi global market. Section 2. Subsequent to the provisions of this act, the interpretation of the drawing, endorsement, acceptance, or acceptance supra protest of a bill is determined by the law of the place where such contract is made, provided that wherein an inland bill is endorsed in a foreign country, the endorsement shall, as regards the payer, be interpreted according to the law of the Abu Dhabi global market. Section 3. The duties of the holder with respect to presentment for acceptance or payment and the necessity for the sufficiency of a protest or notice of dishonor or otherwise are determined by the law of the place where the act is done or the bill is dishonored. Section 5. Where a bill is drawn in one country and is payable in another, the due date thereof is determined according to the law of the place where it is payable. Part 3. Checks on a banker. Act 73. Checks defined. A check is a bill of exchange drawn on a banker payable on demand. Except as otherwise provided in this part, the provisions of this act applicable to a bill of exchange payable on demand apply to a check. Act 74. Presentment of check for payment. Subject to the provisions of this act, Section 1. Whereas a check is not presented for payment within a reasonable time of its issue, and the drawer of the person on whose account it is drawn had the right at the time of such presentment as between him and the banker to have the check paid, and suffers actual damage through the delay, he is discharged to the extent of such damage, that is to say, to the extent to which such drawer or person is a creditor of such banker, to a larger amount than he would have been had such check been paid. Section 2. In determining what is a reasonable time, regard shall be had to the nature of the instrument, the usage of trade and of bankers, and the facts of the particular case. Section 3. The holder of such check as to which such drawer or person is discharged shall be a creditor, in lieu of such drawer or person of such banker to the extent of such discharge, and entitled to recover the amount from him. Act 74A. Presentment of check for payment, alternative place of presentment, where the banker on whom a check is drawn, A, has by notice published in at least 2 leading English language newspapers of the United Arab Emirates specified an address at which checks drawn on him may be presented. B, has not by notice so published canceled the specifications of the address. The check is also presented at the proper place if it is presented there. Act 75. Revocation of banker's authority. The duty and authority of a banker to pay a check drawn on him by his customer are determined by 1. Countermand of payment. 2. Notice of the customer's death. Crossed checks. Act 76. General and special crossings defined. Section 1. Where a check bears across its face an addition of A, the words and company, or any abbreviation thereof between 2 parallel transverse lines, either with or without the words not negotiable, or B, 2 parallel transverse lines simply either with or without the words not negotiable. The addition constitutes a crossing, and the check is crossed generally. Section 2. Where a check bears across its face an addition of the name of a banker, either with or without the words not negotiable, that addition constitutes a crossing, and the check is crossed specially and to that banker.